look at this. Last night, the Knicks traded 4 unprotected first-round picks, 1 protected first-round pick, Bojan Bogdanovic, and they now have Mikal Bridges. If you look at this rotation that they have, it's a lot of Villanova players, but they have a very solid 8 rotation players, assuming OG Anunoby re-signs with the team. Now, Craig, when you look at this rotation, is this a championship team in New York?
Yeah, look, the Celtics are still the best team in basketball. I don't want to suggest that the Knicks are now better than the Boston because they're not. And all of these guys are obviously familiar with each other, having played in college and won a national championship. That's also, 6, 7 years ago, whatever it is now. Was it 2015, I think it was, when they won the title altogether? The deal is this, though. The Knicks are a better basketball team right now, in the moment. They're a better basketball team. They've got another guy who can now shoot the basketball very well, plays great defense. And we start looking at what the Knicks bring to the table. And Timmy, obviously you could talk about this more than anyone. You're talking about guys who are kind of unnaturally long,
yes,
which you can't teach. So defensively, that's another, I don't want to say elite, but above average defender for sure. A guy who's as good as anyone in the league, catch and shoot jump shooter. Yes. And now when you start taking stock of what the Knicks do really well, they also get another guy who plays every game.
Yes.
Another guy who wants to play 40 minutes plus every single night. I mean, there was a moment last year, being a New Yorker and obviously in Sports Talk Radio here, where I remember talking about the fact that Mikal Bridges got pissed when they took him out of a game.
Right.
Right? Up 20, down 20, whatever the case may be. The dude wants to play. So now you're looking at a team that needed another guy like that, a guy that you can count on defensively, a guy that you can give the rock to in a big spot to score buckets. And now they're a very, very tough team to defend. And if you add to the mix Julius Randle, who obviously had shoulder surgery and missed the entire second half of last year, and I do agree, although I'm not a fan of Julius Randle's as a basketball player, he's a tough, physical guy. And in some of those series, he would have been perfect on the court for the New York Knicks. The big question's now going to become, the New York Knicks became reliant on Jalen Brunson holding on to the ball for a lot of every possession because he had to.
Yes.
Now we got to make sure Jalen Brunson becomes a better distributor of the ball because now you got another guy who can score.
I wouldn't worry about Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is a point guard. He knows how to run a team. He knows how to get his ball players involved in the game, and he understands that he has a team now. They don't have to rely on him. Like you said, Julius Randle was out, Anunoby was out, so they had to rely on Jalen Brunson to come in and to score the ball the way he needed to score in the latter part of the season and into the playoffs. And they got so reliant with it that sometimes it backfired on them,
sure,
which was kind of tough for them. But Jalen Brunson, I wouldn't worry about him. He knows how to play. He knows how to get his team involved. You get Julius Randle back. He was buying into the whole situation of what Tibbs was doing. Look, you got a team now. You got Anunoby. You got Brunson. Let's pass the ball. Let's move it. It'll come back to you in your sweet spots, and you can take it to the rim. You can make plays. Now you got Bridges. Oh, man, I'm telling you. He's long. He's athletic.
He's a good ball player.
He plays, like you said, he plays hurt. He plays the whole season.
Yeah.
And he wants to play. He wants to win.
And here's the other thing.
And let me tell you this.
Yeah.
When he left Phoenix, he was very disappointed.
Yes.
He
was drafted by the Suns.
Right. But when he got traded to Brooklyn, he was very disappointed.
And by the way, he blossomed. And here's the good thing about Mikal Bridges. When he had really good players around him, although it wasn't as long as people wanted in Brooklyn, the dude excelled.
Yes.
He found his shots. He found a way to play. Also consider this. Bogdanovic was making $17 million. Bridges is due about 23. So doing this deal does not stop them from keeping Anunoby and being able to pay him.
Right.
The big question for the Knicks is who's their big man? Right? Isaiah Hartenstein, who, I don't know if you knew this.
Yeah, he's black.
He's a free agent, though, right?
Yes, he's free agent, but
he's black.
I don't know.
In any event, they probably can't keep him because they can't pay him as much.
Right.
Mitch Robinson's on the trade block already, and he's a liability on the court in the last few minutes of a game anyway. And then another way to look at it, Basketball Jones reached out to me last night and said, when you look at some of the trades the Knicks have made, you tell me this is a fair value for value. The Knicks essentially get Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby and Precious Achiuwa for R.J. Barrett Emmanuel Quickly, Bogdanovich, 5 first-round picks, and 2 second-round picks. That is a lot. But if you win a title, it's worth every bit of it.
No question. It's worth 80 bits.
Good, Plax.
I don't think the New York Knicks win a title.
Why do you say that?
Mikal Bridges. I think the New York Knicks have recognized what the Boston Celtics are and what they aren't. The Eastern Conference is going to be better. You're talking about Indiana, Pal Siakam, Miles Turner's a stretch free, so they're looking at the Boston Celtics and saying, what are we missing?
Sure.
We're missing length on the perimeter to defend because Philly's going to be better. Joel's going to be healthy. Giannis is coming back. So I think they realized that they needed to add some players. And I heard Kobe Bryant say this a long time ago. He said, ball-dominant players in this league won't win championships.
No, they won't.
And I believe them. And I think that they've recognized that Jalen Brunson is holding the ball a lot within his offense.
But he had to. He made the point. He had to.
Listen, he hasn't missed any games until he's playing with Tibbs. Listen, those guys are playing plus 40 minutes a game.
Right.
Yeah.
So they have to have some guys that come off the bench.
But Tibbs, I think he will understand that he will have some guys that coming off the bench that he knows that could play, and he don't have to rely on his first 5 or 6 guys. He gonna have a solid 8, 9 guys to come off the bench. And you're right. With this lineup, we make too much about, who's a 2 guard, who's a small forward, who's a center. At times, you could put Julius Randle at center, and he could play Miles from
And let's
from
be honest,
Indiana.
the NBA has changed. It's not a big man's game where you need a dominant center.
Exactly.
The best centers in basketball play 20 feet away from the goal. They're not sitting under the basket the way they used to.
Look at Porzingis. He's 7'4".
Right. Now, there's a little side story going on here because we're all amped up about basketball because let's be fair. While this trade had been rumored, and we knew that the Knicks, Jalen Brunson wanted him, Josh Hart wanted him, they're very open about that. They're good friends with Mikal Bridges. We got our juices flowing here a little bit because of this basketball. And of course, you have the first round of the draft tonight. But I just wanted to point out a little side story that's going on here. Plaxico Burress first said that he could score against Steph Curry in the post.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
He said he called you barbecue chicken.
No, I didn't. I called you curry chicken.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
That's what I call it.
He said,
my favorite dish, which I love to eat. I'll eat every day for the rest of my life.
He said he get a switch. He said he get a switch.
I get a
He
switch.
said a switch on Steph Curry. He didn't mention nobody's name. He didn't say Jalen Brunson. He said
Hit him with
Steph Curry.
Yeah.
It's not that easy.
Little fall away jumper.
It's not
To
that
be
easy.
fair,
Yes, it is when he's 6 feet.
No.
Listen, look, I can't guard Steph Curry, but I don't believe he could guard me either.
So here's the way it's going to happen.
That's what I'm saying.
Before Tim Hardaway introduces Plax to Steph and tells him about the challenge, Tim said, you got to prove that you can beat me first. So next week, we're going to go to an indoor court here in New York City, and Plaxico Burress, they're not going to play one-on-one.
No, I'm not playing one-on-one.
Because his knees are shot.
Gone.
But they are going to play a game of horse. And your prediction for how that game of horse goes is what?
Real bad for Plex.
No, it's not.
Real bad
No,
for
it's
Plex.
not.
Very
Y'all
bad.
will be
Really
surprised
bad.
of the results when we get back on television.
Surprised that you didn't do nothing.
Hear the results next week.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I guarantee you, this guy that's sitting in this eggshell off-white shirt, he will not be the winner I will be.
Whoa. He gonna be eating a lot of crow.
So here's the deal. Next week, they're gonna have a game of horse. And then if Plax beats Tim, the payoff is that Tim has to introduce Plax to Steph and set up a one-on-one matchup, right?
And when I beat him, then what?
We'll figure that part
We'll
out.
figure that out.
Well, I already met Steph. I mean, I've already met Steph.
We'll figure it out, though.
And by the way, I may show up with a little hook shot.
When I met Steph, that would lead me to believe I can score.
I got to watch my head.
I got another one with the little Jewish hook shot.
I need to work on my rebound. All right.
Let's go to break on that. Hey there. Thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.